Hey Canucks fans, it is Sunday. That means it's time for another edition of Ask Me Anything. I'm Clay Emo. I'm at Canuck Clay on Twitter. I'm at Clayton Emo on Instagram. I'm the founder of the GLCPC, the Good Looking Canucks Positivity Club. This is my Canucks take, all in one take. It's Clay's Canucks commentary for Sunday, July the 5th. This is where you get Canucks insight that's positive and timely. I hope you're enjoying the gorgeous weather wherever you are. Right here in the Seaston area of Richmond is absolutely beautiful. So I'm out here in my backyard per usual when it's nice, and I hope that you have a chance to enjoy the wonderful weather as well. So pretty chill day, appropriate for my usual chill Sunday vlog, which is Ask Me Anything. And I've got 5 questions, 5 really good questions, 4 of them Canucks related, 1 not so much but very relevant. And yeah, they gather them from both YouTube and Twitter, and I'll get into them right away. First one is from, and I don't know if it's Idris or Idris. I've heard it 3 different ways, but Idris from YouTube says this: is it better for the Canucks to win the play-in round or lose the play-in round and get a good draft pick? Well, Idris, I think it depends on your definition of better. You guys know, those of you that watch this channel, I 100% want the Canucks to win in the first round, win that first play-in series so that they officially make the playoffs. What it does a couple things. From a pure draft pick perspective, then that means it guarantees that our first round draft pick for October 2020 will actually be shifted to the bottom half of the first round, and then it goes to New Jersey as part of that Tampa Bay trade for JT Miller. So again, if we win the play-in series, that means we are deemed to make the playoffs. That means our draft pick is indeed the bottom half of the first round, and then it goes to New Jersey. And that means we get to keep our 2021 pick no matter what happens next season. And so that's the draft pick side. Of course, from a pure hockey side, I want the Canucks to do well. This year, out of any year, I think it's anyone has a chance to win the Stanley Cup because of how unconventional the season ended and the play-in series and then the hub cities and the way that they're going to do the whole Stanley Cup playoffs. So I truly think Vancouver has as good a chance as anyone. A healthy Markstrom, Pettersson, Hughes, Besser, all of them, JT Miller ready to make an impact. And what I do like about the Canucks' chances is they have a hot potential for a really hot goalie, Jacob Markstrom. They have some young players who are going to have a lot to prove. Pettersson, Hughes, Horvat, Besser, all those guys, Gaudette, Virtanen. But they also have some really good playoff veterans, guys that have won the Stanley Cup, like Jay Beagle, like Tyler Toffoli, like Tanner Pearson. Then you have JT Miller, who has good playoff experience, Tyler Myers. So I really like the mix of the team, and I think they do have a chance to do some damage. And once you win the play-in series, who knows what happens after that, depending on who you match up with and how well you're playing. So absolutely, for me, Idris, I think it's better for the Vancouver Canucks to win their play-in series and to really have a shot at going deep in the Stanley Cup playoffs. The secondary part is that, like I said, it means that our first round pick goes to New Jersey to fulfill the conditions of the JT Miller trade, but it'll be in the back half, the bottom half of the first round, and not a lottery pick. Second question from YouTube is from Gustavo. Says, hey Clay, have you heard anything regarding the possible contract buyouts for the season? I know there are some discussions of possibly allowing teams to buy out contracts without cap penalty, but I didn't see anything more in depth. Good question, Gustavo. You haven't heard anything or seen anything because it's likely not going to happen. I know it was hopefully a pipe dream for some of us, or we were hoping to get out of, under Louis Eriksson's contract and free up some money and some space for the next 2 seasons. But no, everything I've heard suggests that there will not be any compliance buyouts. There will not be any amnesty buyouts. I know that the GMs don't like them. They don't like it at all. I'm sure the players won't like it because unless they don't want to play anymore. But they have pride, right? They're proud guys. They want to play. So I just don't see it happening. As much as it would be nice, as much it would give teams like the Vancouver Canucks some flexibility and some salary relief, I don't see it happening. But if it does happen, I'll be the first to admit that I'm wrong. But I haven't seen anything in the last few weeks to suggest that it will be part of the new CBA. I talked about the CBA in my vlog yesterday, and of 10 or 12 clauses, points that were brought up, contract buyouts were not one of them. So I don't expect there to be any new ones. Anything new that you can do, any new elements that you can bring in just because of the COVID. So unfortunately, I don't see that's going to be a reality. But that's a great question, Gustavo. Okay, 3 now from Twitter. The first one is from JL. Escape Reality, my roller hockey buddy. He says, we all know you're a positive guy, but without naming names, have you had a negative experience or a negative encounter with the hockey player? JL, I'll be very honest with you, and not just because I don't want to throw anyone under the bus. I've been blessed. I haven't had any negative experiences with hockey players. I've had some better than others because, and the ones that are better would be meeting Elias Pettersson and having him recognize me, taking that picture in San Jose at the All-Star game, or doing a music video with Jake Virtanen and Ben Hutton. Those kind of, or volunteering at, the golf tourney, or volunteering at, Canucks Dice and Ice. All blessed to do all those kind of experiences. So generally, the guys are in a really good mood, right, at the golf tournament or at Dice and Ice, because they're a charity and they don't want to look like goofballs, right? And not that they would anyways, they don't, but they want to look good in front of sponsors, in front of fans, in front of media, all those things. But even having said all that, I have not had one negative experience. Now, granted, I'm not an autograph seeker. I'm not, a selfie seeker. So I'm not one of those people that kind of wait outside of the Rogers Arena garage after games or after practices. And I hear that can be hit and miss, right, depending on what kind of mood the players are in. But no, I've never had a negative experience. The only one that's close to negative, but it's not even negative, is I remember at the Meet the Team event this year when I met Brock Besser and got the scoop of him coming back early from his injury. I saw JT Miller and, among many of the players, and he looked like he'd rather not be there, but I didn't see him being rude. I didn't see him snap at any fans. He just didn't have the same disposition as, say, a Brock Besser or Elias Pettersson or Bo Horvat. So I'm not saying anything bad about him. I love JT. In fact, one of my funniest JT Miller stories was at the golf tournament this year, and he had like Nikolai Goudobin and a couple other fans in his foursome, and he basically was telling Goudobin that he should really tee off from the women's tees or the shorter tees because of how bad of a golfer he was. So just kind of fun. And I've heard that JT Miller is very sarcastic and has a lot of fun in the locker room. So I almost felt bad, but I felt like I should at least say something. So the one time I saw JT Miller at that Meet the Team event, he wasn't the most excited I've ever seen him, but certainly he wasn't rude or anything like that. So no negative experience. I've been very blessed that way. But like I said, it's because I also choose what kind of situations I put myself in, volunteering for charity events and things, as opposed to waiting for autographs after practice or after a game. Not that there's anything wrong with that. I just don't do it myself. Another question from Twitter, Joe Salas at LC3D3Mon. I guess it looks like something like demon, but it's Joe Salas at LC3D3Mon. And it says this: if Tryamkin gets signed, as a lot of people suggest, how does that impact Rafferty's chances of making the team? Good question, Joe. I talked about Tryamkin at length on Friday on my vlog. I've always said I'm not the biggest Tryamkin fan. I think he could be a number 6 or number 7 D-man, but certainly not a top 4 guy. But people get allured by his size and imagine a pairing with him and Myers. I do not think that it affects Rafferty's chance to make the team, because I really think that presuming that both Tanev and Stecher do not come back, that opens up at least one spot on the right side. You have Tyler Myers, and presuming one of Tanev or Stecher, that means there's a third pairing spot there, and I think that's Brogan Rafferty's to lose. He had a really good season in Utica. He showed well in the 2 games he played last season at the end of last year with the Canucks. So I think they're basically penciling his name in that spot. Of course, if both Tanev and Stecher don't come back, then Rafferty's a lock for sure, because he might actually be top 4 if the Canucks don't get anyone else. But I think Rafferty makes the team, so I actually don't think Tryamkin's talk will affect it. The only way it would is if Tryamkin comes back and competes with Rafferty for that third pairing spot, but I think Rafferty has the edge up on Tryamkin. I see Tryamkin being a third pairing left side guy or a number 7 D-man. And Tryamkin, although he shoots left, he can play both left and right. In fact, I remember him playing more right than left when he was with the Canucks a few seasons ago. But yeah, Jordie Benn can do that as well. Go both sides. So let's presume, for instance, that Tanev doesn't come back. Then you're looking at a top 6 of Hughes, Edler, Myers, Stecher, Rafferty. There's your top 5, and then some combination of Ben and Tryamkin taking that number 6 spot. And like I said, both of those guys can play either side. So to answer your question, no, I do not think, Joe, that Tryamkin's possibility of signing with the team, I don't think it affects Brogan Rafferty at all, quite frankly. Lastly, I want to end on this one. Good friend, well, I've never met him, but he seems like a really good guy. Ben Burnell does a lot of Utica Comet stuff. He's at OD_Burnell on Twitter, says this: what's the most underrated song from Hamilton, and why is it What I'd Miss, which is the name of the song, What I'd Miss. So great question, Ben. Ben was obviously following a couple of my tweets and my vlog saying that I watched Hamilton for the first time last night on Disney Plus, like I'm sure everyone else in the world. Blown away. You guys know that I love music. I'm not the great singer, but I'm a decent musician. So I love music. I love musicals. I love theater. And that's why I really, really enjoyed the show. I was so blown away by the talent, the musicality, the creativity, the showmanship, all those things. And I loved it. It was what I hoped it to be. To answer your question though, Ben, What I Miss is very good. I did like that one. But I'm a big Leslie Oldham fan. I like Daveed Diggs as well, but I'm a big Leslie Oldham fan. So anything that Aaron Burr was in, I really, really enjoyed. So the song that I think that's underrated, that shows off Leslie's talent, is a song called Wait For It. And there's a bit of, a lot of singing in it, but a lot of that kind of spoken singing / half rapping, half singing. And I thought it in a really good groove, great beat. So I really like that song. That song, again, Wait For It. Almost as good as What I'd Miss. But Ben, that's a great question, and anyone who hasn't seen Hamilton yet, I encourage you to do so. Just pop on to Disney Plus and make sure that you check it out. Okay, so there's some really good questions there. Everything from winning or losing the play-in round, to buyouts, to experiences with hockey players, to Tryamkin versus Rafferty, to my favorite underrated songs in Hamilton. So no really question of the day. I don't really do a question of the day on Sundays. Rather, do you have any reaction to anything that I said? Any of my answers? I would love to know. Leave a comment below. I would love to read, react, and reply, as always. As well, because it's Sunday, that means tonight I'll be popping on a YouTube at 10 o'clock for my weekly live stream. Lots to talk about between Vancouver Canucks, free agents, practicing, training camps, hub cities, COVID, return to play, CBA. We got a lot to talk about, so I hope that you join me tonight at 10 p.m. on YouTube for my weekly live stream. And there we go, that's it. Enjoy the rest of the day. I'm gonna see my brother Jason and his kids and their family today, so looking forward to that. So stay safe, stay healthy, take care of yourselves, take care of each other. Have a great day and God bless. Go Canucks, go.